Nutrition, to eat or not to eat. That is nutrition. Food surrounds us everywhere. Even as we go to the grocery market, even when we're in the cafeteria, even at home, it seems to consume us. It is known by Maslow hierarchy of needs that feeding yourself is the step to motivation, because it seems that as human beings, as social creatures as we are, we do depend on certain elements, and having the proper nutrition, the proper diet is considered one. But as we have evolved more and more, we can see it as we're playing sports or doing physical activity, how the food and the nutrition and vitamins help us perform better and better, or else we get tired. Or even when we're focusing in class, even though it doesn't demand a lot of physical work, just the mental aspect uses the brain, and what frees the brain? Sugar. And to everyone's favorite lazy activity, watching a movie, have you noticed that you always snack while watch? We cannot avoid food. We cannot even avoid the concept of what it brings to us, because that would be simply ignorant. As you can see in this following Guinness commercial, we are so influenced by ads, as the average American will probably see over 10 food commercials in a day. But we don't even know what it's talking about. Beer, everyone thinks about it as that alcoholic beverage, but as you will soon see later on in the documentary, beer is just more than an alcoholic beverage. It actually has more electrolytes than your leading sport drinks, and contains fiber, which is actually great for the body, as complex carbs are something that we lack in the North American diet, and very crucial. Not only misconceptions are burned apart in nutrition, but also the togetherness, the Gemeinschaft, the Gesellschaft, and countercultures, as we can see in the following clip with the woman cutting sugarcane, which is a activity seen in the Caribbeans, Africans, and even some places in South America. This form of unity is what brings them together sometimes, and what brings them to rise up. The best example for this is when you look at what happened with Fidel Castro, who was one of these sugarcane farmers and used that to platform his way onto the top of the Cuban presidency, and other countries as well, as where we're going to see in the next clip with the cocoa in Africa. Even though chocolate, we think of chocolate being Belgian made, the production really starts with places such as Ivory Coast, places such as Ghana, where some of the top cocoa production are, also Brazil. And just understanding where the food comes from shows that there's a strong sociological point in the structural functionalism, because sometimes we don't even know how the food gets to us or the system. And whenever we think of globalization, we always think about it from the aspect of Western society bringing to Eastern society. But have you realized that lately in big towns we have a lot of Chinatown, we have Thai Express, we're learning how to get fried rice? Of course, it's due to enhanced flavors such as MSG and glutamine, which really suppress any cook to have such taste. But it's just interesting because we always look at it from one aspect and not the other. But even though that is the case with Thai Express, fried rice, General Tao, the evolution of food has brought other things such as sushi, such as roti, curry, Indian spices, which diversify our and enhances our taste and all the greatness that it has come to it. And now on this one, some similar fried rice and how to cook it. Where cooking is merely not just about what you eat, but it's also about how you cook it. Presentation seems to count, since it has become a form of an art, even competition with food eating, and even seen on some TV and on cartoons. The whole precision, as you can see with the oil, how it just sits in the symmetry. That's what seems to crave us nowadays in this role of short attention span. And lastly, or not least, one of the biggest things of modernization when it comes to food, the fast food. There is 160,000 restaurants in the fast food restaurants in the States. It is a $65 billion industry. Some popular names are Sonic, Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, and even some Canadian ones, Pizza Hut, Tim Hortons, where the logo seems to bring us a form of happiness, and sometimes even if it's not better for us, just because it has a similar feel to what we taste, like KFC and its chicken variety with greasiness, it's very smart because the human body is predisposed to fat, sugar, salt, and it seems that all of these places have been able to do it to not only bring us what we think is delicious, but also to become sociological institutions in their own right, where when you think of Subway, Tim Hortons, McDonald's, you not only think about the food, but you think about the experience. And that in itself is a symbolic interaction. But there is a cause and effect to this, which causes a conflict theory, because in capitalism we always talk about making money. But as you can see in the following graph, overweight and obesity rises in America because there's a lot of sugar, and the misconception is fat turns into sugar, or sugar turns into fat. And as you can see, some of these drinks are very cheap, cheaper than water. Another beverage with high caloric intake is alcohol. The top 10 countries that consume alcohol are all European. Some could say it's because of the culture, because they celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and even back in the day when, like, such in places as England or Czechmark or Austria, after victory of the sports, it is complimentary to buy the winner some drink. It wasn't seen a form of debauchery, but more of a form of camaraderie, acceptance, victory. Now will lead us to our journey of kids searching around Lennoxville, trying to learn of what we should ingest in our body as athletes, trying to get the best for ourselves. But where do we start? Where do we go? Is there even places for us as we search Doolittles, as we go around, trying to avoid our body natural mechanisms to be attracted to sweets, chocolate bars, ice cream, candy? Sometimes we gotta avoid this as much as possible because they come in so many different variations. When you think about it, sometimes the best thing might be making your own, as we have done, making our own shakes, trying to buy vegetables there and there. But we decided to look at it from a very sociological perspective by asking psychologists, biologists, environmentalists, and chemists, all who can bring different aspects to the table and let us know what it is that we need to take in order to be better.